Morning everybody, thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. We're back to that house we did the basement on yesterday. Today, a little bit easier of a day. We're going to go ahead and pour this garage. Got a heater going. We're going to hang plastic over the door here shortly, as well as this porch. It is kind of cold for this, but they want to get it done for construction. And same thing, we're going to hang plastic over the entire porch and heat it. So we'll go ahead and get this going. Rebar's all in and tied. Matt's just moving their temporary posts out onto some different temporary posts just outside of concrete. So we just took our expansion joint, nailed it around the perimeter, keep the concrete away from our non-treated lumber, as well as the van board. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Rebar up on chairs. I like it. One other thing we do, we started doing this about 10 years ago, and I'm really glad we did it. We turned our floor drains on at an angle, and we just take a cut off of the corner. So they're already laid out. Steve has the marks on the wall where our cuts go. Same way with this one. Sills set to height. I'll get the camera up and we'll get started pouring. Mike's mixing up right now. We have 4,000 fiber mesh concrete, hot water, and 1% calcium chloride in it. So should get it going, as well as we have a heater going. If we didn't have the heat, we'd up it to 2%, but we kind of like to keep that calcium down just a little bit. 2% is the max you want to go. Bring them up to the edge. Okay. Underway. We just have about a 3-foot rake to get it to the wall. We're about halfway done pouring. Guys are floating around the wall. Set in the middle. We'll get about another 3-foot pass here and we'll hold up. See how it just flows right around the rebar? Okay, all straight edged, so I'm just finishing up the bull floating. It takes the edge of the bull float to the drain, not the center of the bull float. with the knuckle we have on the bullthrow, you twist the handle to raise and lower the pitch. Just want to keep that as flat as you can. Flat and slow. All right, let's go pour the porch. We got about 2 wheelbarrows too much in there, so we had to drag it out. So we'll fire up the skid loader and get this out of here before it hardens up. This was the leftovers from our first truck. So we just spread that on the bottom. We didn't want to pour half, and then our number 2 truck's mixing up. We didn't want to pour half and then the other half with that. So we'll just do the underside with 1, and we'll top it all with number 2. That way it sets up more evenly. Okay, second truck's mixed up. Starting to pour.
Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned that.
I want to make sure our rebar are back about 2 inches from the face. If they're too close, you can see a rust mark over time. Things we bought was this cordless vibrator, consolidating that edge. Straight edging, making sure end of the boards are down. There's about a 2% slope on that heading away from the house. Last little bit of bull floating. Trying to hit it both ways. Nice and slow, nice and flat. And one more. I hung up the plastic. This is getting nice and warm inside. This concrete won't be it won't be long until we'll be on it. Number 1 truck is just about cleaned up. We'll get him out of here. Number 2 truck right behind him. School zone's getting kind of busy. I used to hate this time of the year. It's not so bad. I can edge concrete while I'm drinking my coffee. Starting to set up a little bit. Got it all plastic in, heater going. So it's one of those days, just take your time. All we're doing is rolling the edge. We got a water drip here. The snow's starting to melt off the roof, so let that dry up before I touch this area. But we'll be on pretty soon making cuts.
The lone wolf in here handling the sill. If anybody ever tries to ask Matt if he needs help, he yells at you.
Touching the concrete, great snow water that's sitting in. Hit it with a sponge, soak it up. We don't want to work that into the concrete and weaken it. Soak that up.
Alright, so I just ran over here to check on the garage floor. Tommy just got on back by the man door over there. And he said it's decent out. It's decent back there in front of the heater. He's just gonna kind of work a little bit slower. Looks a little greasy over here still, but he's always pretty good about knowing when to hit it, when to not hit it. So we'll just take his time, make this first pass real nice, get this weekend started.
Concrete's all rubbed up, joints are opened up and cleaned, edge re-rolled, everything ready for a broom. Nice and clean, nice and crisp. Steve's finishing just a little bit of edging right there. So we'll give it, if I had to guess, the way it's going, 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer before we're brooming. I added this cut in up here. That way we have protection off of that corner both ways. I cut it, took my float, stabbed it in, then reopened it. Just to give it a little bit more separation. I hate to see a crack coming off of that corner on an angle. So hopefully it follows that or follows this one. Okay. Waiting to broom. One thing is worth mentioning, our blocking in here now is nice and tight, and it's just one single block going from under the concrete lip board to our brick ledge. No movement. If this board right here would flex at all, you'll see a hairline crack right through here. So you want to make sure you get plenty of blocking every 3-4 feet apart, 5 feet apart. And we use 2x6 material, not 1x6, 2x6. So it'll bridge right across there. And if you remember, we turned it into a T. It's screwed onto a 2x4 or 2x6. I can't remember what we used there. So you want that pretty rigid. Real quick update on the garage. Guys are on it, putting first pass. Couple things. With the vapor barrier underneath the concrete, all the moisture has to come up. So the moisture is coming up, getting hit with the heater, all the condensation's just laying on top. So we're dealing with a little bit of excess bleed water than we like. So we just tried to let it evaporate off. You can see Tom's barely leaving a mark with his knee boards. It's really tight underneath, just kind of greasy on top. So you just want to take your time and work our bull float lines in. You don't want to see them in the finish. We'll come back and saw cut this tomorrow. Doing pretty good, I guess. Happy to be working. I said happy to be working. Okay, so we got our short board off. What we like to do, this stuff looks better. You got to do this early when the concrete's like it's on. Try to measure under that. It just looks so much nicer than a jagged edge. Finally stopped dripping from that side. That's why yesterday I pointed out we want a good edge on this form, just for this reason right here. Up so they drain. Just a nice easy rub. Cleans that face right up. A lot of guys come in too hard and this gets all wavy and sags. So just nice and easy, I'm barely touching it. This one off and repeat. Okay, so that's the face all cleaned up. These are opened up. Water will run right down. We'll take it one step further tomorrow when we're saw cutting. We'll put a grinder cut right down here. That's all done all the way across there. Now we're just letting this tighten up a little bit. We'll be brooming it shortly. One last thing on this face, we just take a hand brush. Try and give it a nice light broom. Right like that. Couple little holes there, close them right up. There you go. One more step. Guys, just finished edging the sill, brooming and edging the sill. The garage door comes down and sets right in this pocket. That way if snow or rain blow in, it has to go in here under the door and up to get in there. Looking good, guys. First pass is all done. We'll put the final pass on this in a little bit and saw cut tomorrow. bit rough right there, but not very bad. There's some loose stuff on top since the concrete's been laying here so long. That'll brush off. We're getting some nice broom mark through here. We got a drip right there now. I'll finish this out, then I'll deal with that. The little pad I broomed with the door, just to change it up a little bit. Either way, we broomed that with the door, then from here we broomed straight out on these pads. One little drip right there, so we just gently broomed it and set a piece of styrofoam on it to catch it, and that is all done. So, pouring a front porch in a bubble. All right, Tommy's putting the finish on back there, starting to shine up pretty nice. We'll be back tomorrow to do some saw cutting. I'll just throw you on time lapse and you can watch them finish it out. I'm gonna get on the road and start our next project. I'll leave the camera here on time lapse and watch Tom and Matt put a nice finish on it. Still just a little bit too wet. Day like today, just setting up slow. So, as always, thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, tell all your friends, tell everybody you know. Let's keep this channel growing. See you on the next one.